Now for those that didn't have the go with the pruning saws, they can have a go with the wire brush. This is some biodynamic paste that we made here at the office, and there it is. And it consists of stirred corn manure, liquid seaweed, and liquid nettle tea. But the main ingredients are a clay, terracotta clay, diatomaceous earth, which is sort of a form of silica, and fresh cow manure. So those three things. And then we've got that manure concentrate that I was telling you about. We've got a lot of that in there as well. Got some silica crystals, some old horn silica. It's a healer. It'll heal the tree. It'll cover over, on a big tree, it'll cover over any holes that the insects might hide in the bark. So it coats the bark, and so insects can't get suffocated, basically. They get suffocated. And it feeds the tree through the bark. Steiner said that the trunks of trees are like sort of a mound of soil, if you can imagine a mound of soil, and all these are like little plants growing on the mound of soil. So he said you need to treat the trunks of trees as if they're the soil. So you use a sort of like a soil type substance, the clay and the manure and everything on the tree, as if it's sort of fertilising the trunk of the tree. So it also, Steiner said, it sort of sensitises the tree to sort of influences from, the cosmos and from the atmosphere and everything. But the main thing is it sort of it does help radically reduce the amount of pests and that on the tree. In this sort of situation, the main effect is it's going to be healing the tree, and it'll also be covering all of those little buds, and they'll sort of shoot through it, and keeps the tree clean, so it doesn't grow any of this moss on it, which eventually, first of all, that creates hiding places for the insects, and secondly, it sort of can create rots and things starting to happen in the tree. So, and you can dilute that right down to a very, very thin paste and put it through a filter sock, and then spray the entire tree with it, all the leaves and everything, and it has a wonderful effect of reducing like citrus leaf miner, any of the insects that are attacking the leaves of the tree get coated with this stuff, and the diatomaceous earth will suffocate them, will sort of kill them, and the clay. So it's an excellent tonic for the trunk. You try and do as much of the trunk as you can do, and what you can't do with the thicker paste, you then dilute it down and spray the rest of the tree with the thin stuff. And it's a nice thing to put on. It's sort of it's like putting a mud pack on the tree. The trees really appreciate it. You can actually sense that they're really loving it, and you quite appreciate it because it's quite a tactile thing to do for your trees. And it's a way of sort of giving back to the trees for what they've given you. So, yeah. So it's got all the biodynamic preparations in it. But before we put it on, we just use a wire brush and get all of this lichen off, which is easy on this one because we've just chopped half of it down. Method in the madness. So I've got an old wound over here. Do you want to have a look at this, Angus? It's got a bit of rot in it. Yep. So we'll coat that right over and with the tree paste, and it'll sort of heal up that wound. Yep. What we'll also do is get some compost and put it around this tree, cover it with some mulch so it has plenty of good food available for it to sort of regrow with. And then our job here at the BD office is to make sure we select the right shoots. So this one here is growing out, so it'll probably form a really nice branch out here. So we'll save that one. Some of these ones that are growing in, we'll just sort of take them off because we don't want them to go up like Angus was saying, we want them to go out. So, choose to keep too many, then you can always sort of prune them off the next year. So,
I want to create like a vase, branches around it. So, particularly the way a citrus goes, there's 3 or 4 shoots will come up in most of these places where a bud breaks. So, yep, I would be picking, I'm generally looking for the stronger ones, heading in the direction I want, and taking the others off. These guys are photosynthesizing and helping feed the tree. So in choosing them, I would be looking for in each cluster, and you can come and have a look at these clusters. You know, there are some of them are obviously stronger than the others.
Thank you, John.
So I would be looking for stronger shoots to leave. So in this one, you know, you've got a choice of say 2 here. Depending on which position they're going to occupy in space as they grow.
Would the tree be in shock now?
It is.
I'd be in
and
shock,
you know, that's part of the beauty of this tree paste. It's very much, I mean, it's the protective thing. We're kind of treating it. We're going, hang on, you know, we know we've done this, but we're going to honour you. I've tree pasted on a very conventional cropping place, a place that has an avenue of 120 plane trees. The only thing we can attribute the success of these trees to, apart from the love and attention that's been paid to them in the pruning, is the tree paste. Because they're on a black heavy soil, no oxygen around the roots, nothing favours their growth there at all. I don't want water to sit in any of the wounds.
It's got to have a chance to heal before it does the big damage.
That will probably, and it'll be interesting because it'll probably be on film, that'll probably close over this growing season. The tree's responding to the energy.
Because it's that little stump,
Yeah.
I'm giving it a lot of nice thick stuff.
And
Who wants to get the
so
bloody
she's
hand?
just going to go.
It feels really nice. You actually nourish your hand.
So how long does the paste last for?
Well, if it sets like that, it'll last for a season. You'll still see traces of it for the whole of the year. Okay. But it's already done its good because it's the longer it can stay on here, the more nourishment the tree will. You can still put it on after they set fruit, but you know it's the only thing that might interrupt bees pollinating it. You know. This is Stumpy now, so it's reshot and it's now forming the framework for the new tree. What we have discovered is this one branch here is dead right down to the bottom, so it's a good idea to be cutting that off. Also over here where we cut this branch off, it's dead down to here, so we'll cut that off as well. And I have actually removed quite a few of the shoots that were coming out from the centre and going up in the centre, because as Angus was saying, we need to sort of try and get light into the centre and get the framework of the tree to come out. And so there's another few little shoots there I'll just rub off, and then we'll show you how to apply the BD paste. So I'm going to start with cutting off this big one here, and I've since acquired a nice saw that, like Angus has, and should be easy cutting, hopefully. Now the other little dead piece was this one here. We can see we've got a nice healthy branch coming out there, so if we can cut this off a bit shorter, it'll save a lot of water coming down through here and causing the dead part to keep on going. So pop that off. There's still a few little dead pieces in here, but the tree paste will hopefully seal those off and stop any further decay. Now you'll notice that there's some little shoots coming out here in the centre of the tree, so we can just rub those off. That'll stop them growing into branches. I'll just trim these off a bit. There we go. So there's a bit of dead bark here. Let's remove that. So poor old tree had a pretty hard life. Loose bark, you'll see a lot of insects underneath, ants mainly. Okay, well I think we're ready now to get some tree paste ready. When we're using the biodynamic paste, and that's the biodynamic paste there, It comes in a very concentrated form, so we need to dilute it a bit. So I'll get some out. And you can dilute it by mixing about twice the amount of water as per the paste. Should be enough for this tree. So we've got some water here. Pop it in. And then we've got a stick. It's just like mixing up paint. Just mix it round until you get a nice thick paste. Can be a little bit thicker when you're putting it on the wounds. For the big wounds like this, it needs to be fairly thick so that it stays there, it's not washed off by the rain. You can stir it the biodynamic way, one way and then the other way. Okay, now if we use a banister brush such as this one, an old banister brush to apply it, you just smear it liberally over the wounds. And of course, if you have any dead bark or dead wood, cut the dead wood out and try and prise the dead bark off with a screwdriver or a wire brush, and if there's any lichen on it, then you can brush that off with the wire brush. We did that when we did the workshop. The tree's fairly clean. The paste acts by seals all the wounds and helps them heal. Stops the insects that hide underneath the loose bark by dehydrating them, and it also allows the tree to get nourishment through the bark and also from the atmosphere and the cosmos. There's some holes in this particular branch, which I imagine come from a borer. So, but also if there's borers in your orange tree, then you cover up the holes and you'll probably end up killing the borer at the same time. Try and cover all the exposed parts of the tree. This little branch has died here. Chop him off. You can see how there's a lot of paste still left on the tree from when we did it 3 months ago. So even though we've had quite a bit of rain, then it persists on the tree. It does deter ants, which are they tend to come up and they have little herds of aphids that they set up on the leaves, and they milk them. They milk the sap, the honeydew that the aphids produce. That's food for the ants. So if we can detract the ants from your tree, it saves lots of aphids. That Stumpy, we'll come and have a look at him in another 3 months. We've got some flowers on, so we might even have some fruit by then.